Have you ever sat quietly at night and wondered why loyalty feels so rare in today's world? Why do people promise forever, yet disappear when life becomes difficult? Why do some hearts change so quickly after getting what they wanted? Perhaps you gave your love sincerely to someone, trusted them deeply, stood beside them during their darkest moments, and still, one day, they walked away as if your presence meant nothing. This silent pain is growing inside millions of people today. Husbands and wives slowly becoming strangers. Friendships ending over selfishness. Children forgetting the sacrifices of their parents. People smiling on the outside while carrying deep disappointment within their hearts. We live in a world where attention is everywhere, but genuine commitment is becoming rare. People are connected through phones, messages, and social media, yet emotionally they feel more distant than ever before. Many souls today crave loyalty, but few are willing to practice the patience, honesty, and emotional responsibility that true loyalty requires. And perhaps the most painful part is this: good-hearted people begin questioning themselves. They start asking, was I too kind? Did I care too deeply? Why do I always attract people who leave? But dear seeker, this suffering is not meaningless. There is a hidden spiritual truth behind why loyalty is disappearing from modern life. A truth that Paramahansa Yogananda-like wisdom quietly points toward. Because loyalty is not just about staying with someone physically. True loyalty is the reflection of inner consciousness, spiritual maturity, and the strength of the soul itself. And in this video, together, we will explore the deep spiritual reasons why loyalty has become rare, why hearts are changing, and how you can protect your peace without losing your ability to love deeply. The hidden problem in today's world is not simply betrayal, dishonesty, or broken relationships. The deeper problem is emotional emptiness. Many people have forgotten how to truly value another human soul. Relationships today are often built on temporary emotions, convenience, loneliness, or personal benefit rather than deep spiritual connection. This is why so many people feel unseen even while surrounded by others. A husband may provide financially but emotionally disappear from his marriage. A wife may silently carry years of emotional pain while pretending everything is fine. Friends who once laughed together slowly become distant because modern life has trained people to prioritize ambition over emotional presence. Even within families, people speak less from the heart and more from stress, frustration, and distraction. The soul begins suffering quietly when relationships lose sincerity. And perhaps the saddest part is that many good-hearted people continue giving love, loyalty, and support while receiving very little in return. They stay awake at night wondering why people change so easily. But the truth is, modern society has normalized emotional inconsistency. People are taught how to impress others, but not how to remain committed during difficult moments. The world celebrates attraction more than devotion, excitement more than stability, and instant pleasure more than long-term trust. This creates relationships that look beautiful on the surface but remain spiritually weak underneath. Like a tree with shallow roots, they collapse during emotional storms. Paramahansa Yogananda-inspired wisdom reminds us that the soul longs for depth, truth, and lasting connection. But when people lose connection with their inner peace, they also lose the ability to remain emotionally steady. That is why loyalty feels rare today. Many people are searching for love while carrying restless minds and wounded hearts. And a restless heart often struggles to remain faithful, patient, and emotionally present for long. Why is this happening more than ever before? Because modern human beings are becoming spiritually disconnected from themselves. A mind filled with constant noise cannot create stable relationships. Today people are surrounded by endless distractions. Social media, comparison, temporary pleasures, and the pressure to always seek something better. Slowly, this creates inner dissatisfaction. Even when people have love in front of them, their minds continue wandering elsewhere. Spiritually, this happens because the soul is starving for peace while the ego keeps chasing stimulation. A person who has no inner calm becomes emotionally unstable. They seek validation from attention, excitement, and outside approval instead of building strength within themselves. Psychologically, many people also carry deep fears they never healed from. Fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of emotional vulnerability. Instead of learning healthy love, they protect themselves by becoming emotionally detached. Some people leave relationships not because they stopped caring, but because they never learned how to handle pain, conflict, or emotional responsibility. Modern culture has also made people impatient. The moment relationships become difficult, many immediately search for escape instead of growth. But true loyalty is not proven during easy times. Loyalty reveals itself when misunderstandings happen, when life becomes stressful, when emotions become heavy, and when imperfections appear. A spiritually mature soul understands that love requires patience and conscious effort. Yogananda-inspired wisdom teaches that the quality of relationships always reflects the quality of consciousness. A peaceful and self-aware person naturally becomes more loyal because their happiness is not controlled entirely by temporary emotions. But a restless mind constantly seeks new stimulation. That is why many relationships today break not because love never existed, but because emotional discipline and spiritual depth were missing. When the inner world becomes unstable, the outer relationships eventually become unstable too. Many people silently wonder why they continue attracting painful relationships into their lives. Why do they keep meeting emotionally unavailable people, dishonest partners, or selfish friends? The answer often lies within karmic lessons and unconscious inner patterns carried deep inside the soul. Karma is not punishment from life. It is spiritual education. Every painful relationship carries a hidden lesson meant to awaken wisdom, self-awareness, or inner strength. Sometimes the soul must experience betrayal in order to stop blindly trusting everyone. Sometimes abandonment teaches a person how to stop abandoning themselves emotionally. And sometimes disappointment forces the heart to seek deeper truth beyond human approval. Childhood experiences also shape many adult relationships. A child who grew up without emotional affection may later chase love desperately from unavailable people. Someone who experienced rejection may develop fear of attachment or become emotionally distant to protect themselves. These inner wounds silently influence whom we trust, whom we love, and what behavior we tolerate. Destiny often brings certain people into our lives for spiritual growth, not permanent companionship. Some souls arrive only to teach difficult lessons that awaken us. At first, this truth feels painful because the heart naturally wants permanence. But spiritually awakened people slowly realize that not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some relationships are mirrors showing us unhealed parts within ourselves. Paramahansa Yogananda-inspired wisdom reminds us that every soul encounter carries purpose. Even painful experiences can push the soul toward higher awareness. The danger comes when people repeat the same emotional patterns without learning from them. They continue chasing toxic relationships while ignoring their inner wounds. True healing begins when we stop asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" and begin asking, "What is life trying to teach me through this pain?" That question transforms suffering into spiritual awakening. And often, the greatest lessons come from the relationships that hurt us the most. Loyalty rarely disappears suddenly. Most of the time, the signs appear slowly and quietly before the relationship finally breaks. A person who once listened carefully becomes emotionally distant. Conversations lose warmth. Effort becomes one-sided. Promises are made casually and forgotten easily. In many marriages today, couples continue living under the same roof while emotionally feeling completely alone. They speak about responsibilities, bills, and daily routines, but the emotional connection slowly fades away. In friendships, loyalty often disappears when success, money, or convenience changes priorities. Some friends stay close only during comfortable seasons but disappear during struggle or failure. Even within families, many parents silently suffer because their sacrifices are forgotten once children become independent. Modern life has made people busy, but it has also made many hearts emotionally unavailable. One painful reality today is that people often expect deep loyalty from others while refusing to give emotional consistency themselves. They want understanding but struggle to understand others. They want commitment but avoid emotional responsibility. True loyalty is not controlling someone or staying in unhealthy situations. Real loyalty means maintaining honesty, respect, effort, and emotional sincerity even during difficult moments. Spiritually awakened people understand that feelings naturally rise and fall, but character must remain stable. A loyal soul continues choosing truth even when emotions temporarily change. In real life, small actions reveal loyalty more than big promises. Someone checking on you during hard times. Someone speaking respectfully about you when you are absent. Someone staying emotionally present during your failures instead of only celebrating your success. These quiet actions reveal the depth of a person's character. Paramahansa Yogananda-like wisdom teaches that sincere hearts are recognized not by words alone, but by consistency of behavior. And sadly, consistency has become rare in a world addicted to temporary emotions. That is why many people today feel emotionally exhausted. They are surrounded by connections, yet starving for genuine loyalty. When loyalty is broken, the human heart naturally feels pain, anger, sadness, and disappointment. But spiritual wisdom teaches us something very important. Do not allow another person's behavior to poison your inner peace. Many people respond to betrayal by becoming cold, bitter, or emotionally closed forever. But carrying resentment only creates deeper suffering inside the soul. Healing begins when you stop chasing explanations from people who are emotionally unwilling to understand your pain. Sometimes closure does not come through conversation. Sometimes closure comes through inner acceptance. Paramahansa Yogananda-inspired wisdom reminds us that protecting your peace is not selfish. It is spiritual maturity. You can forgive someone internally without allowing repeated disrespect into your life. Forgiveness does not mean tolerating unhealthy behavior again and again. It means releasing hatred so your soul can heal peacefully. During painful experiences, it is important to reflect honestly on your own patterns as well. Ask yourself where you ignored red flags, where you abandoned your self-respect to please others, or where loneliness made you tolerate emotional inconsistency. Spiritual growth requires both compassion and wisdom. Healthy love cannot exist without boundaries. Spend time reconnecting with yourself through silence, prayer, meditation, journaling, or peaceful reflection. The more connected you become to your inner self, the less desperate you become for external validation. Slowly, emotional clarity begins replacing emotional confusion. You realize that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some people are temporary teachers preparing your soul for deeper understanding. And most importantly, never allow betrayal to convince you that genuine people no longer exist. Loyal souls still exist in this world, but they are often quiet, humble, and emotionally mature. The healing journey is not about becoming emotionless. It is about learning how to love deeply while also protecting your spiritual peace. And sometimes the greatest act of self-love is quietly walking away from relationships that continuously damage your soul. The deepest spiritual lesson hidden within loyalty is this: loyalty is not merely about relationships with others. It is ultimately about your relationship with your own soul. A spiritually awakened person remains loyal to truth, values, kindness, and inner peace even when the world around them becomes selfish or unstable. Modern society often rewards temporary pleasure, external beauty, and personal gain. But the soul quietly longs for something much deeper: sincerity, emotional safety, and genuine connection. That is why many people feel empty even after achieving success or attention. Without inner truth, nothing outside can fully satisfy the heart. Yogananda-inspired wisdom teaches that every painful relationship carries the possibility of awakening. Betrayal can either make the heart bitter or spiritually wiser. Some people allow pain to destroy their trust forever, while others use pain as a doorway toward higher consciousness. Spiritually mature souls eventually realize that their peace cannot depend entirely on human behavior because people are imperfect, emotional, and constantly changing. True stability comes from developing connection with the divine presence within. When your inner life becomes peaceful, you stop begging others to complete you emotionally. You begin loving from wholeness instead of desperation. You stop chasing temporary validation and start valuing emotional truth. Slowly, even painful endings begin making sense. You realize some losses protected your spirit. Some betrayals redirected your destiny. Some disappointments awaken strengths within you that comfort never could. Loyalty becomes rare because true loyalty requires spiritual discipline, emotional honesty, patience, and depth of character. And these qualities can only grow inside a soul that has learned self-awareness. The world may continue becoming restless, but your soul does not have to become restless with it. Remain sincere, remain kind, remain truthful, because in a world where many hearts change quickly, a steady and loyal soul becomes something truly sacred. As we come to the end of this message, dear seeker, remember one beautiful truth quietly within your heart. Never feel ashamed for being loyal in a world that often forgets the value of sincerity. Your kindness was not weakness. Your patience was not foolishness. And your pure intentions were never a mistake. In today's restless world, many people may change quickly, break trust easily, or walk away when situations become difficult. But a sincere soul always carries a special spiritual strength within. Life may test your heart through disappointment, separation, or betrayal, yet every painful experience also carries the possibility of awakening. Sometimes the people who hurt us the most unknowingly push us closer to our true spiritual path. So do not allow temporary pain to make your heart bitter. Instead, let it make you wiser, calmer, and more deeply connected to your inner peace. Continue becoming a person whose words remain honest, whose heart remains compassionate, and whose soul remains connected to truth. Because even if loyalty feels rare today, the divine still recognizes every act of sincerity that comes from a pure heart. And before you leave, I would truly love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever experienced loyalty or betrayal in a way that changed your life completely? What lesson did it teach your soul? Share your experience gently in the comments below, because your words may heal or inspire someone silently struggling right now. And also tell me, what spiritual or life topic would you like the next video to explore? Your suggestions help this journey grow together as a peaceful spiritual family. If this message brought even a little peace, clarity, or strength into your heart, then you may softly support this channel by subscribing, sharing this video with someone who needs it, and becoming part of this growing journey of spiritual awakening. Until we meet again, stay peaceful, stay sincere, and stay connected to the divine within. Jai Gurudev.